Okay, today we're going to start out with a question, and here it is. What are some things that are good for us? Phoebe, can you name something? How about eating healthy food?
Yes.
And drinking lots of good water and getting plenty of sleep, stuff like that?
Yeah.
But why do you think sometimes people do things that are not good for us, Chloe?
Because doing what is good for us can sometimes be hard.
Yeah, can you think of something like maybe exercise? That can be hard. Well, in today's story, we're going to hear about a man who did things that were not good for him. Our story today comes from the book of Judges. And God's people were sad. Once again, they had forgot to obey God. And once again, they were in big, bad trouble. But God had a plan to get them out of the trouble their disobedience caused. One day, God sent an angel to an Israelite woman. And the angel told this woman she was going to have a very special baby boy. The angel told her some unusual rules for her son to obey. He was not to eat any grapes or drink any wine. He could not touch anything dead, and he could never, ever cut his hair. Obeying these rules would show that this child belonged especially to God. So when the baby was born, they named him
Samson.
Samson. And God helped Samson grow up strong. I mean, really, really strong. God had chosen him to save the Israelites from their enemies. Now, their enemies were the Philistines, and they were hurting God's people. Samson became so strong he could defeat entire armies all by himself. When Samson was around, those Philistine soldiers didn't stand a chance. One time a whole army of the soldiers came to capture Samson because they were afraid of how strong he was, and he slew 1,000 of them with the jawbone of an axe. But Samson fell in love with a Philistine woman. Her name was Delilah. And the Philistines told Delilah they would pay her lots and lots of money if she could find out what made Samson so strong. But every time she asked him what would make him weak, Samson would make up a lie or make up a silly answer. One time, she asked him, and Samson said, "If you tie me up with ropes, I will lose all my strength." So that night, while Samson was asleep, Delilah tied him up. And then she shouted, "The Philistines are coming! The Philistines are coming!" And then Samson jumped up and he broke all those ropes easily. He had only been fooling again. But that didn't stop Delilah. She didn't give up. She pouted and whined and nagged, saying, "Won't you tell me your secret?" Finally, Samson gave in and told her. He said, "I've been dedicated to God since I was born. That's why I don't cut my hair. If my braids were cut off, I'd be as weak as any other man. My strength is in my long hair." So sure enough, that night while Samson was asleep, Delilah called to the Philistines and she told them to cut off Samson's hair. And when Samson's hair was cut, he woke up and thought he would still be strong. But the strength God gave him was gone because he didn't obey God. And the Philistines were able to grab him, and this time Samson could not defeat them. They made Samson blind where he couldn't see, and they took him off to prison. Samson must have been so sad, but while he was in prison, his hair began to grow back slowly. Then one night, the Philistine rulers threw a really big party to honor their false god. And they decided to bring Samson in so they could make fun of him and give credit to their false god for helping them capture him. And as he was led into the temple, Samson asked the servant, he said, "Put me where I can feel the pillars that support the temple." And when he could feel the pillars, Samson offered up one final prayer to God. He said, "God, please let me be strong once more so that I can knock down this temple full of Philistines. So Samson pushed and pushed those pillars with all his might, and the temple came crashing down on all the Philistines and on Samson too. Even as he died, Samson proved that the one true God is stronger than any false god. And that's our story. So let's think about something we can learn from this story. Okay? Even Samson's disobedience couldn't stop God's plan to help his people, did it? But disobeying God did cause Samson a lot of sadness. It just wasn't good for him. Now things like eating healthy food, that is good for us. It makes our body stronger. But obeying God is even better. Let's connect the Samson story to Jesus. You know, God chose Samson to rescue or deliver his people. But Samson chose to live in a way that wasn't what God wanted for him. Now, Jesus was also born to be a deliverer, but he did live the way God wanted him to. And when Jesus died on the cross and came back to life again, he showed that he's the perfect deliverer for all people. Now let's read our Bible words. These are words that God said. Jeremiah 7:23. What did God say?
God said, "Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you will be my people, and you will walk in all the ways which I command you, that it may be well with you."
So God said that it may be well with you. You know, God knows that disobedience will hurt us. That's why he wants us to obey him. So we're back to that question again. So what is good for us?
Obeying God.
Obeying God. When we obey God, we're living in the very best way he wants us to, and we honor him. And we also avoid a lot of really bad trouble. Now, Chloe, do you have some Bible words for us to tell us some more about this?
These 4 verses are from Psalm 119. O is for open. Open my eyes that I may behold wonderful things from your law. B is for blessed. Blessed are those who observe God's testimonies and who seek him with all their heart. E is for establish. Establish thy word to your servant as that which produces reverence for thee. Y is for your righteousness. Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. And that spells obey. Okay, girls, when we obey God, we're trusting that he knows what's best for us, aren't we? Yes.
Now, you guys have a song about trusting and obeying, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
When we walk with the Lord in the light of his word, what a glory he sheds on our way. While we do his good will, he abides with us still, and with all who will trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. Not a shadow can rise, not a cloud in the skies, but a smile quickly drives it away. Not a doubt nor a fear, not a sign nor a tear, can abide while we trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey.
Oh, Bob. Okay, say goodbye. Goodbye. We love you. Bye-bye.